Hello everyone, back tuning into our 17th Christmas update. So here we go again, it's time to do another Christmas update for you. We're up to update number 17 of around 25, so we are getting towards the business end now of these Christmas updates. Can you believe we began these on the 1st of November, and here we are, we're ever more moving closer to Christmas. So I shall get on the 17th Christmas update for you very soon. We're going to look at SevV2 probably for around the penultimate time. We may look at CFS one more time on Friday's 18th update, but I think then that will really be it, you know, for the CFS V2 then, and we'll be concentrating on the GFS and pinning down the detail for Christmas, really for the remaining updates after update number 18. But yeah, we're going to look at CFS V2 once more in this one. We're also going to have a look at GFS 6Z operation one, and also the extended GFS as well. So I shall get on with all of that for you very short. Just if you're enjoying the Christmas updates at the moment, please can you absolutely smash that like button and let YouTube know you're enjoying the videos, and also let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Big thank you to Richard for the amazing Christmas updates gift. Look at that gift. If that doesn't get you in the mood for Christmas, I don't know what. We also thank you so much, Rich, for the Christmas updates. Every gift, everybody has loved the Christmas updates gift this season. Right, let's move over to MechaSeal.fr then, and we're going to have a look at the GFS. No, we're not going to have a look at CFS 12Z. First of all, you've probably been watching the live stream before this update, so this being released just after our live stream. Of course, if you wasn't able to see the live stream live, you will be able to watch it back on catch up. So, once again, we're looking at the CFS V2 12Z. This was generated midday yesterday on the 8th of December. And yeah, so let's do it then, shall we? So we have always used a 12Z for all of these updates, and we'll continue to do so as long as we possibly can. Right, let's do this then. So we're starting on the 15th of December, just a few days away now, because the time frame, the time window is getting ever narrower now. So here we go, we're looking unsettled, with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic as we're running up towards Christmas. So this is an Atlantic-driven run up to Christmas with low pressure bringing wet and windy weather in from off the Atlantic Ocean. The eve of Christmas Eve, 23rd of December, is showing low pressure to the north, and we're bringing in like a northwesterly wind. Let's see what happens as we get to Christmas then. So it's a little bit cold in the north, actually. That could deliver a few sort of colder snaps, you know, cold include for Scotland. Christmas Eve, we're building up a ridge of high pressure here across the country within relatively coldish air, so probably a seasonal feel for Christmas Eve. Not particularly cold, but there might be some sort of overnight frost, something like that. So yeah, rather chilly Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, probably under this little ridge, starts frosty, I would have thought, and then we're bringing a weather system in from the Atlantic. That could bring a band of rain. Maybe just preceded by a little bit of hill snow in the north, but it's primarily a band of rain that is moving in from off the Atlantic there on Christmas Day. So after a frosty, sunny start, it probably turns cloudy and wet with a little bit of hill snow over the highest ground in the north on Christmas Day. That is Boxing Day, so we're building up a little ridge of high pressure there on Boxing Day. So turning drier, probably with some overnight frost, but, you know, reasonably mild by day, and I would have thought a reasonable amount of sunshine coming through as well. That's 27th to 28th of December. Low pressure then is coming back in off the Atlantic. That's bringing a band of rain in with it. That low is struggling though. So this is trying to go a little bit colder, I think, actually. The low pressure are digging southwards. So we've got low pressure and the jet stream digging southwards, which is trying to allow some colder air to come in from the north. So between like Christmas and New Year, it's 29th December, between Christmas and New Year, we're like in a no man's land, really. We're neither under high pressure or low pressure, but it is possibly after a mildish sort of Boxing Day in 27th, it's probably starting to turn a little bit colder, particularly so in the north. Then low pressure is going to try to come in off the Atlantic as we move towards New Year, so that's going to try and bring wet weather up from the southwest. But again, this is within colder air, so there is a potential for a little bit of winteriness in with this area of low pressure. So maybe cold rain in the south, maybe something a little bit more wintry up in the north. That's New Year's Eve, so we try and get a little bit of Scandinavian high going on New Year's Eve. But again, there is plenty of energy in the Atlantic. So a little bit of a battle is taking place here as we hit the new year. Probably seeing a band of rain, maybe preceded by some snow as the air is quite cold, moving in from off the Atlantic. And then we're going back into an onslaught pattern as we go through the opening days of the new year. So further wet and windy weather sweeping in from off the Atlantic as we go through the first week of January. And yeah, it looks like this Atlantic onslaught's going to go on for a little while, raising the heights there to the northeast as we go to the middle of January. So possibly, again, further on into January, we could be starting to see signs of something a little bit drier and a little bit colder. Then is it going to do anything cold? Let's have a look. So it does, yeah, take that high pressure further north. So it's certainly hinting that as we get into the middle of the second half of January, we might start to pull in some colder air from the east. That's certainly the way that the CFS 12Z is going, but in January we do get cold air in from the east, and we bring some snow in on those easterly winds as well via the Scandinavian high. So, bit of a mixed one, this, isn't it, for Christmas? I don't think we can put that down as a particularly cold Christmas. Probably, you know, probably cooler than the last couple, though. It's a very strange one, that one. Right, so next thing we're going to look at, I think, will be the GFS 6Z operation run. Now, I would normally show you the GFS 12 there, but of course you've just seen that in the live stream. And I'm actually recording this before the live stream, so I've got to come up with another GFS run to show you. So just this once, I'm going to show you the 6Z. And yeah, but normally, most of the time, we will always try to use the 12Z of both CFS and the GFS, if we possibly can. Right, so we're at westcentral.d for this, so we're just going to zip through these charts then. So this is what the GFS 6Z was shown. Of course, this has been superseded by the 12Z, but we're showing you in the live stream. So running up towards the middle of December, we've got a battle going on here between low pressure to the west and high pressure to the east and the northeast, looking rather wet and windy, generally quite mild though, as we're running into the middle part of December. Into the second half of the month, we keep low pressure rattling in from off the Atlantic, so there will be further bouts of rain, but it is pretty mild with those winds remaining from a southwesterly direction. We're moving up towards Christmas. Now, as far as we go, the operational run now is to Christmas Day, so quite exciting this. We're going to move up in towards the Christmas period, and again, we're just keeping those winds in from a west or southwest direction. Low pressure continues to bring further bouts of rain in. That's Christmas Eve, looking quite wet and windy across the country on Christmas Eve. And then that is Christmas Day, 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day as far as we go to, with the GFS operational run is, again, with another bout of rain coming in from off the Atlantic, bringing further wet weather. I would say there is relatively high heights, not necessarily high pressure, but the heights are higher to the north and to the northeast. So the Atlantic isn't coming in with all that much conviction. It'll only take a slight adjustment, probably start pulling in something a little bit colder from the northeast. But as it is, the GFS 6Z is mild for Christmas Day. And then the last thing I'm going to show you for this 17th Christmas update will once again be the extended GFS control run. So this goes out to 840 hours, which is around 4 weeks, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. So let's see what this one is showing. Then this is for noughts, because it only becomes extended like with the midnight run. Right, okay, so let's see what the GFS extended control run was showing today. So here we go, looking generally unsettled through to the weekend, wet and windy weather coming in from off the Atlantic, plenty of rain heading in with those areas of low pressure into the second half of December now. And again, we're keeping the wind in from a west or a southwesterly direction, so it's staying pretty mild as we're running into the pre-Christmas period. This is the 19th of December, with high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north. Heading up towards Christmas period, so this is the 20th of December, we are getting some higher pressure building over and to the east of the country. So we're turning dry, we're breaking out of that unsettled weather, or we're trying to anyway. And as we get closer to Christmas, 22nd of December, we are trying to get Scandinavian high going over Scandinavia. It is having a really good go at building up, but still the low pressures continue to come in from off the Atlantic. So we're still relatively mild and quite wet up to this point, but the low pressure looks like it's struggling. Is this going to get the wind into the east for Christmas? Let's see what it does. This is 23rd of December. With, again, we've got a Scandinavian high connecting back to an Arctic high. But there's a deep area of low pressure just to the southwest of Ireland. So that's probably going to stop the wind getting into the east of Christmas. It is a very close run thing. So actually this is Christmas Eve, and we're looking wet and windy here. This low pressure is really being blocked though by the Scandi. Look at that. So what a battle we've got going on right there on Christmas Eve into like Christmas Day. We've got a big area of high pressure over Scandinavia and a deep area of low pressure over top of the UK, bringing wet and windy weather. I think that is primarily rain. There could be a little bit of cold air digging in from the backside of the low from the north, actually. So, you know, it's one of those that might see a little bit of snow on the back edge. But basically, that is rain and very wet and windy. But of course, the bigger picture is like the huge battle that is going on between the Scandinavian high on the one hand and the low pressure in the Atlantic. That really is a meteorological ding-dong that's going on there. Now, we've got to Boxing Day. So Christmas Day is like very wet and windy, probably quite chilly, really, as that low pressure is being blocked. Boxing Day probably turns drier as those weather fronts finally sort of get out of the way to the east. But it looks like we're going to bring more low pressure in from off the Atlantic. So the battle continues as we go beyond Boxing Day to the 27th of December. And we look very wet and windy there. Gale force southerly winds. And again, heavy rain trying to make it across the country, but being blocked in its progress by the area of low pressure. Now, we're running into 27th of December, and the wind is starting to tilt round to the southeast. That Scandinavian high does not want to give way, does it? So, actually, the low pressures are beginning to lose the battle here. And they're starting to slip south into France as the wind is beginning to shift round to a southeasterly and almost to an easterly. So between Christmas and New Year, the GFS extended control and actually has a Scandinavian high after so much is thrown at it by the Atlantic. Eventually has that Scandinavian high winning the battle. And so as we go up to, this is 30th of December, as we go up to New Year, we are actually turning colder there. We're bringing the wind from the east, but only temporarily, because the next low then has another go at giving us a battering. And so that brings a further bout of rain across the country. That one might be a little bit wintry. It would depend on the parameters of the atmosphere, of course. And now it looks like the Scandinavian high is properly receding away. So it looks like now we're going into, like for New Year, like New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, it looks like we're going into more of a westerly, bring wet and windy weather in from off the Atlantic. So after that battle over Christmas, it looks like the Atlantic eventually wins it, and we start to turn milder but also wetter and windier through the early part of January. Going further on, high pressure then starts to build over and to the east of the country. So this is again having a go at sending up Scandinavian high, getting the wind into the east. Eventually we do go into like proper high pressure and blocking and much colder weather as we get later on into January. This is the 9th to 10th of January. Now we've got proper cold air coming in from the east. So after Christmas, in comes the cold and potentially in comes some snow. From the east, a very, very entertaining GFS control run there with a case of let battle commence. So, you know, that's it. That's it for the 17th Christmas update. It looks like it's still all a little bit on a knife edge, I have to say. Probably we are edging towards a milder, wetter Christmas. But as long as those heights remain high to both the north and to the east, we can't rule out the chance that there could be a bit of a shock and there could be a surprise. So keep watching the Christmas updates. That's what I suggest. And we shall see how things evolve. Right, so that's it for 17th Christmas update. We'll do the 18th Christmas update on Friday. I think that'll be the final one then, with the CFS Vita. And I think after that, the last sort of 5 or 6, we'll just concentrate on the GFS and pinning down the detail for Christmas. If you've enjoyed this Christmas update, please smash the like button. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, and we're going to have the 18th Christmas update for you on Friday. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.